Konnichiwa, everybody. Moshi Mosh, Ni Hao, all that good shit. Um, got my morning voice because you know me, always grinding, can never stay away from the grind. We're doing a video. I don't really know what to call this video, but basically I'm just gonna go over Akkan shit because Akkan is coming, and I mean he's coming fast. Let's be real here. So I'm just going to start off with the roadmap. Obviously, we already know the roadmap. Slayer, Nineveh looking cute. Clown Man with Nineveh again. All this good shit. And then August, obviously, we got Little Girl plus Spooky Zombie Guy. Zombie Guy is what we're going to be primarily talking about right now. Akkan. Akkan's coming out in August. And take a look at your calendar. Depending on when you're watching this, I suppose. But if you're watching this on the day this came out, it's gonna say August. Now, it might not say August in English if you have like a, different language on your calendar, but it should translate roughly into August. So August is here. Akkan is coming. He's coming fast, and we're a no loads refused kind of family here. Normal, 1580, hard, 1600. Makes sense, makes sense. When is Akkan coming exactly? Well, we pop on over to the video game here, formerly known as Lost Ark. Go up here, login reward event ends on the 16th of August. So that's our best guess. The patch is coming out on August 16th. Again, we don't know for sure, but it is a good guess. So what does that mean? That means, well, if you're not quite 1580 and you want to make a push to 1580, what are you looking at in terms of like material costs? So let's go over a couple different spots that your main may be sitting at. So I think for the majority of people who have been long-term players, a lot of your alts are probably sitting at 1540, if I had to guess. And your main maybe 1560. So let's assume your main is at 1560. So that would be all plus 17, as you can see here. So in order to get to 1600, you would need to get to plus 22, I believe? Yes. So, plus 22. Very unreasonable, let me first off say. Don't do this. Just look at the summary of the total value of things here. You're looking at about 70 million silver, about 1 million raw gold, 8 million honor shards. Basically, too much shit. You're never going to get this unless you have a credit card with a high limit. What is more reasonable? Well, I guess I could have left it here. 1580 is a bit more reasonable, wouldn't you say? There's multiple ways to get to 1580 in terms of item level requirement, but we're just going to assume you went 19 all, just because it's that easy. And this is honing from 1560, so if you're at 1560 currently, and you're looking to see if you have enough materials to make the push in an average scenario, this is sort of what you're looking at. You're looking at about 17 million silver, about 200k raw gold, about 1.4 million honor shards, 2,800 fusions, about 39,000 reds, about 120k blues, 4k leaps. Obviously, this is average scenario. You could be a bit luckier, you could be a bit unluckier. Obviously, if you're pitying every single piece, this is what you're going to need. Pretty much materials about double in some cases. Basically, you're having a bad time, but if you pity literally every single piece, maybe you should buy a lottery ticket, because that's kind of insane luck, just in the wrong direction. But this is pretty doable, especially if your main has been sitting at 1560 and you've been accumulating materials since then. And, basically, Lost Ark is a marathon and not a sprint. It's not meant to be sort of rushed through like many other games, and to some people this is a turn-off, to others it's totally okay. Again, I'm not here to discuss whether this is like good or bad. I'm just kind of explaining how the game is set up. Yeah, that's neither here nor there. Something to note, while 1600 does look very tedious to achieve at our current sort of material setup, Akkan does have a soft reset in terms of gear and materials. There will be new Akkan materials. Do we have Akkan here yet? We do not. So we're going to have to go to the stove. And we're going to have to go to Akkan. But you can kind of see we have different materials here. So we are, how you say, I'm not entirely sure what the word I'm looking for is. Like I said, I just woke up. I still had morning voice, so you can totally tell that I'm legit. And I would never be yanking your chain. But we have here Belshazzar gear item level transfer, and it also has base honing rates for the Akkan gear equivalent that it transfers into. This is useful because you can kind of see here the only spot you actually gain item level is 2 spots. You gain item levels at 19. Well, I guess you get it at 3 spots. You gain item levels here. So if you transfer from 19 Belshazzar, you will be 12 Akkan, and you'll gain 5 free item levels. Woohoo! And the base honing chance will be 10% again, which is pretty good, comparatively. Another spot where you gain item levels, if you transfer here, 1590, you end up at 1590, 1595, 95, 1600, 1600s, 05, 05. No transfer for this. And then 24, 1610, you become 1615. So 24 turns into 18, you gain 5 item levels. And then also at 25, 1615 becomes 1625, you gain 10 item levels. Wowzers. Amazing. So, what does this mean? This means, realistically, for most normal human beings like you and I, you are probably going to aim for plus 19 Belshazzar gear, transfer it over to Akkan gear as you get it for that juicy base honing increase and some free item levels. You're probably going to hone it up to, I say 1610 is probably reasonable. I mean, even 1620 is probably reasonable over time. 3% is not terrible, and we're used to that sort of now. But 1.5%, 1%, 0.5%, this is ridiculous. So eventually, you're going to hone it up to 1620, probably. What does this mean? This means you're pretty much going to get to Akkan hard mode item level 1600 just by virtue of playing the game and transferring your Belshazzar gear. You're not going to have to worry about it too much. The only thing is, if you, for some reason, have a ungodly desire to immediately do Akkan hard mode, in which case, nothing I say will help. It's just completely up to you and whether you think, 1, you can gather this many materials, or 2, you can waste that, spend that amount of money on these materials in order to fund your trek to 1600. In which case, if you're going to do that, you already know what you're doing, and you probably don't need this video. In which case, God bless you, Godspeed, and good luck, my brother. As far as that goes, I think that about wraps it up. I just kind of wanted a little, how you say, a little reminder, sort of, as to what costs are going to look like. Especially if you're 1560, which is where I think a lot of people are parked these days, especially if they're long-term players who had no desire to push to 1580 for hard mode Triangle as it is, and they've just been hoarding materials. Anyways, I've done my piece. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, I appreciate each and every single one of you. Yeah. Love you all. XOXO, Gossip Girl. Thank you to my YouTube members, of course. Consider becoming a YouTube member, help support the channel, etc. My tier 2s, thank you. Blitzel Remix My Life, I'm Nufu, Erzike, Peachy, and Jacob. And all my tier 1s, it's Biscuits, Inder, Diz, Clouded, Dangerous, Joxini, Prince, Nation, Clater. It's your boy, signing out. Peace.